First, let's set the scene. It's late. The house is quiet. You're probably scrolling on your phone, getting ready for bed. Then you hear it, a faint sound. A floorboard creaking upstairs when you know you're home alone. Or maybe a whisper so soft you think you imagined it. Your first reaction isn't panic. It's denial. You rationalize it. It's the house settling. It's the wind. It's the cat, even if you don't have one. Your brain desperately tries to fit the unexplained sound into a logical, safe box. This is your mind's first line of defense, trying to protect you from the terrifying possibility that your sanctuary has been breached. But the sounds continue. They get bolder. A door slowly creaks open. A shadow moves in your peripheral vision. Now, the denial starts to crack. Your heart rate skyrockets. Your breathing becomes shallow. This is the fight or flight response kicking in, flooding your body with adrenaline. You're not thinking clearly anymore. You're operating on pure instinct. Your brain is screaming one thing: danger. You grab your phone. Your hands are shaking. You try to dial for help, but your fingers feel clumsy, disconnected. Do you call the police? What do you even say? There's a nun in my house. It sounds insane. The hesitation is real, and in a situation like this, seconds feel like hours. You decide to hide. It's the most common and instinctual response to a home invasion. Under the bed and a closet. You pull your knees to your chest, trying to make yourself as small as possible, trying to disappear. You hold your breath, listening. And that's when you hear the footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Each step echoes in the silence of your home. It's not the frantic sound of a typical burglar. This is something different, something theatrical. The sound is designed to instill fear, to draw out the moment. This isn't just a robbery, it's a performance of terror. Then you see her, or at least her silhouette. A tall, imposing figure in a full habit, standing in the doorway of your bedroom. The moonlight catches just a glimpse of her face pale, with dark, hollowed-out eyes. The sheer wrongness of it is paralyzing. A symbol of faith and sanctuary twisted into a harbinger of pure dread. This is where the psychological horror truly begins. It's not just a person in your house. It's an idea. It's the subversion of everything you thought was safe and holy. Your mind struggles to process the image. It's like a waking nightmare you can't escape. She doesn't move. She just stands there, watching, waiting. The silence is deafening. This is a classic horror movie tactic, and it works because it preys on our deepest fears of the unknown. What does she want? Why is she here? Is she even human? Your imagination runs wild, filling in the blanks with every terrifying story you've ever heard. The fear is no longer just about physical harm. It's about the violation of your reality. Your home, your safe space, is now the stage for a supernatural horror show, and you are the unwilling star. The psychological toll is immense. Every creak, every shadow amplifies your terror. Your own home becomes a labyrinth of fear. The familiar objects around you, a family photo, a favorite chair, now seem alien and menacing in her presence. This is her power. She doesn't need to chase you with a weapon. Her very existence in your space is the weapon. She corrupts your sense of safety from the inside out. Let's say you manage to overcome the initial paralysis. Your survival instinct finally screams louder than your fear. You have to move. You have to escape. You make a break for it. You burst out of your hiding spot and sprint for the door, the window, anywhere. Now the dynamic changes. The slow, creeping horror becomes a frantic chase. The house you know, like the back of your hand, suddenly feels like an unfamiliar maze. Doors are locked. Windows are stuck. Every escape route seems to be cut off. It feels supernatural, as if the house itself is conspiring with her against you. This is a key element of the nun horror trope. The entity has power over the environment. It can manipulate the physical world to trap its victims, so you're not just fighting an intruder. You're fighting your own home. The feeling of helplessness is overwhelming. You're trapped in a cage that was once your sanctuary. Imagine you find a weapon, a heavy lamp, a kitchen knife. You turn to face her, ready to fight for your life. But what do you see? Maybe she's no longer there? She vanishes from one spot and appears in another, moving with an unnatural speed and silence. She's always one step ahead, appearing behind you in a reflection, her whispered prayers echoing from all directions at once. This isn't a physical fight you can win. How do you fight something that defies the laws of physics? This is where true despair sets in. The realization that you are completely and utterly outmatched. The horror nun doesn't just want to harm you physically. She wants to break you mentally and spiritually. She might speak, her voice a distorted mix of holy scripture and demonic threats. She whisper your darkest secrets, your deepest fears, things no one else could possibly know. This is the ultimate violation. She's not just in your house. She's in your head. She strips away your sense of self, your sanity, until you're left with nothing but raw, primal terror. The goal is to shatter your spirit, making you easier to possess or destroy. So, what's the end game? In the movies, it often comes down to a battle of faith. The protagonists find a holy relic, they recite a prayer, they exploit a specific weakness tied to the demon's lore. But in your real-life home, you don't have a convenient plot device. You don't have a priest on speed dial who specializes in demonic nuns. Perhaps the only way to win is to reject the fear. If you stop being afraid, does she lose her grip? It's a long shot, a desperate gamble when faced with a seemingly omnipotent force. Or maybe the only real escape is to simply get out, to break a window, to scream for help, to do whatever it takes to get outside, back into the real world where demonic nuns hopefully don't exist. Even if you survive, even if you escape, the ordeal is far from over. The psychological trauma would be profound. How could you ever feel safe in your own home again? Every shadow, every nighttime sound would trigger a fresh wave of panic. You'd be living with post-traumatic stress, the memory of that pale face and those dark eyes burned into your mind forever. So, the next time you're watching a horror movie and see that creepy nun on screen, take a moment. Think about what it would truly feel like. The denial, the adrenaline, the paralysis, the fight for your sanity. It reminds us that the most effective horror isn't about what's on the screen, but what could be just on the other side of your own bedroom door. Thanks for joining me down this dark and spooky rabbit hole. If you enjoyed this what-if scenario, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of horror. Stay safe and maybe keep a light on tonight.